Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We're back here in the shop today. It's been a little bit since we've done any filming here for the race cars and stuff. We've just been so busy taking care of business and trying to get the car and everything, get it going on as much as we can. Last time we left you, we had been doing the sandblasting on the frame, trying to get it sandblasted so that we can get it ready to powder coat. Originally I said I wasn't going powder coat, but I've kind of veered myself into a situation to where I'm kind of looking to getting into powder coating business now, as if I don't have enough of businesses going already. But there's an interest. There's not a whole lot of people doing it in my area, so we're going to look into doing it, and that's what the video is going to be about today. I will go ahead and show y'all the frame here. As you can see, we got everything sandblasted, and it's actually starting to get a little surface rust on it from where it's been sitting here in the moisture we've had here in Middle Tennessee. But she's sandblasted out, and we actually worked on getting the seat mounted a couple of days ago. We found out once we got to the shop here that we didn't have the GoPro or the spare batteries with us that day, so we didn't get a chance to actually do much of filming, or we didn't get to do no filming at all that day when we mounted the seat here. But really it wasn't much to it. I mean, most people knows it's just making a couple of brackets and putting a couple of bolts in it. I got 2 bolts underneath there. There's 2 back there and 2 up here at the top. So I got 6 bolts in this thing. And like I said, she's bolted to the frame good. We had to cut down the back bracket. I don't know if you can see it. I'll try to point to it, but this little area right in here where the headrest goes, we had to move the headrest down about 2 inches. There was a bracket that bolted here that went to the seat here. So we had to take those brackets out, and as you can see, there's not a whole lot of room between the top of that headrest and the top of the frame of the car. So to get it down a couple of inches, we had to take that bracket out and cut on the back of the seat there just a little bit to drop that down. And then when she sits in here, her top of her helmet comes to about right in here. So we should have plenty of headroom. As I've said many times before, I'm all about safety, so if I didn't feel it was safe, I sure wouldn't let it go. And it gives her just a little bit of room to grow into. So we're kind of planning right now, unless some good sponsors come our way and we get to, I guess you say, free up some time somehow or another, then it looks like these bandoleros is going to be where we're going to be for a couple of years. So like I said, we're trying to just plan it out like that for the time being. And like I said, unless we can get some better sponsors to be able to move up to the next division, maybe Legends cars, we don't know. But at the moment, we're just planning on this. But also, we had a area in the floorboard that was ripped through, and I welded that up and ground that down. So we got that fixed. So now we ain't got no big gaps in the floorboard. So the next subject that we're going to work on, because this car is basically ready to go to powder coating. As I said, I'm thinking of getting into the powder coating business. Done went and bought some equipment, but right now we actually started working on this yesterday, and I've been collecting some supplies throughout the week. And so what we're doing right here today, we're working on building our oven. So that car is right at 11 foot long from bumper frame to bumper frame. So in order to get that in the oven, we're planning that this, which is our oven frame that we're building on, we're planning that this will have to be 12 foot long, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to do it in at 6 foot wide. And we don't have a lot of space, so this oven is going to have to sit outside. So what I've done is I've compromised, and I went and I bought some galvanized roofing, more or less, and we're going to build this thing. Of course, we're going to build the frame out of metal, steel, metal, however you want to say it, and then we're going to put galvanized roofing on the roof and on the sides and on the inside of this oven. We'll go ahead and we'll do a little video series on how we build this, and carry y'all along with this. I mean, it's a little outside of the channel's nature, but this is being built first and foremost for that Bandolero. So we'll be able to do Legends cars in it, Bandoleros, go-karts, of course. I'm sure we'll get into some wheels, because that's one of the biggest things that people do is they powder coat their wheels. We're going to get a smaller, just like a little kitchen oven, to do small parts and stuff in. So I don't expect this thing to get used a ton, especially in the next couple, well, heck, probably the next year or so. Probably won't get used a whole lot, but as we go, I'm sure things will pick up, and it's always just kind of faith prevailed. And like I said, I think we'll be able to get business with it, especially around here, because there's not a whole lot of people doing powder coating. But basically what we're going to do, we're going to put that steel right there on the floor. Like I said, we got that galvanized roofing that's going on the inside walls, on the outside walls, and on the roof. I'm gonna make this thing 6 foot tall in the front, 5 foot tall in the back, to give it a pitch for water runoff. And we're gonna, on the front of it here, I'm gonna build a steel frame for the front door, and then the rest of this is probably going to be framed out of those galvanized metal studs that they use in houses and buildings and stuff these days. So we're probably going to just do the front out of the steel, so that's got it's heavy duty enough to hold the door, because I'm gonna do one solid door. It's going to be probably 5 foot tall and 6 foot wide on the door. That way we can get, like I said, we can get the Legends chassis in, we can get the quarter midgets in, the Bandoleros. Hey, this thing's supposed to be big enough to do a side by side. So, you know, if we need to frame or powder coat the frame on a side by side, we should be able to do those. So like I said, that's the project for today. And basically what I've got here is these are everything that I've got so far for this, I've got from the salvage yard, except for the insulation and the heater that we're going to use. We're going to use I think it's a 220,000 BTU propane heater. I think is what it was. But we're going to use that to do the heating in this. And like I said, we bought some insulation off of Facebook Marketplace, and we went to the salvage yard and got this metal. And I think these things right here that we're using for the frame of the floor, I think all that is 2 3 foot by 12 foot shelving units or shelving brackets. That's kind of what it looked like. There was plenty of them up there. We only got 2 of them because that's all we needed, and it worked out perfect because we was wanting a 6 foot wide oven, 12 foot long, and each one of these is 3 foot by 12 foot. So and then these the ends right here, these things right here. I'm sure these were some kind of metal shelving brackets of some kind. So I got those to weld here on the ends, and over there you can see I got a pile of them right there. I think it was 12 of these things total, and 12 of these only run me $100 bill. 25 cents a pound is what they come out to be. So like I said, we're building it as cheap as we can using scraps. I've been looking around for a couple of weeks, and this is what I come out with. But like I said, we'll update you as we go. Right here, we're going to basically finish this frame out. I'm going to put another one of those beams down here at this end, because I don't know how good you can see, but this end, it don't come all the way out to the end. It needs something here. Plus, it needs something solid for the walls. And then here in the middle, Shelby gets up on these things right here, and they bend quite a bit. They got quite a bit of bow in them. So I was trying to figure what's the best, most economical way to make that stronger. And you might not believe it, but I got some bed rails, some old metal bed rails, $5 a piece on Marketplace. And these bed rails like triple the strength of these. She steps on that, it bows and bends. That thing right there. She steps on this one right here, it don't even give none. I mean, it's solid. So like I said, I think that's the key. And then when we put that's not just sheet metal that we're going to use right there. That's like a, I don't know, 1/8 inch maybe. I don't quite know how thick it is. I haven't actually measured it, but it's like 1/8 inch thick metal. I got a full sheet, and I got that half a sheet right there from the salvage yard. So we're going to try that, see how that works out. But anyway, like I said, we're going to get to work. Everybody stay along with us, and hopefully we make something out of this today. Thank you. Okay guys, so we're back out here today working on this powder coating oven again. We've done a little bit of work on this thing since we filmed last. In all honesty, we flat forgot to even bring the camera to the shop with us there for a couple times, and that put me a little bit behind on showing our progress on this. But it's not drastically a lot been done on it since you've seen it last. I mean, we've worked on it a couple days. We pretty well got the frame done. We got the roof on, got the insulation in the roof, and got the sealing of the oven in. As y'all can see here, we'll flip it around here, and as you can see, there's the oven and insulation up inside there, and then we got the sealing going on inside it, and you see all the framing and studs, and we got the floor completed on it. And like I said, we've got a little bit done on it, but we still got quite a bit of work here to do on it. This thing is literally what's holding me up right now on doing the powder coating on her car. And I said in previous videos that I've never really liked doing the powder coating, because the powder coating, you know, it's a little stronger and stuff, but you know, it's not as easy to just run out here and grab some automotive paint the car, and you know, run on with it. If it gets a little scratched, touch it up with a rattle can or something. I've always did that, and it's always worked good for us. My buddy Chad, he was in the powder coating business, and I may have mentioned in a previous video that Chad, he wanted out of the powder coating business, and I made the plunge to buy his stuff. He didn't ever have a big oven. He just had the smaller stuff, did some wheels and stuff like that. And I said if I did this, if I made the plunge to do this, and naturally it's another business adventure, I said I want to be able to at least do small chassis like the Bandoleros, the Legends cars, go-karts, side-by-side frames. That was my goal if I decided to do this. So that's the whole reason we're building this oven, is I'm venturing into a new business with it. And with that being said, we really need to use her chassis as like a prototype to put out so that people can see the kind of product that we do. So with that being said, business is kind of stepping in to racing space at the moment. I think it'd be a smart move. If ever around here, there's not a whole lot of people who do the powder coating. There's a couple of guys, and I think it'd be a good little business adventure for us. So that's the reason we're putting more focus on this right now than we are her racing. We're including the powder coating of it into the racing simply because it will be part of her preparing of her race car. And I kind of felt like it's just kind of a follow along, and this is part of the follow along. So like I said, we're gonna continue working on this today, possibly tomorrow, and hopefully by the end of tomorrow, we're hoping that we've got this thing pretty well closed in, with the exception of the front door on it. And I probably won't be able to finish that for another week, because we own a sign shop, and our signs and graphics business right now is just flat booming. We're working 12 and 14-hour days right now. All the racing teams out here is preparing their cars, and we do a ton of race cars every year, and keep up a ton of race cars on their signs and graphics. So that's got us pretty maxed out right now for time. We also do t-shirts. A lot of these teams, we're getting their graphics together. They're taking their cars, they're getting them lettered up, putting the graphics and stuff on the cars, and they're taking pictures, coming to us, and having us to design and make them t-shirts. Right now our t-shirt stuff is really 2 to 3 weeks out, because what I'm having to do, I'm having to design the graphics for people, get that stuff loaded up into our printers and our cutters, and while that's printing and cutting, and the guys are putting that stuff together, I'm designing the t-shirts on the side. And then what we're trying to do is, right now, 1 or 2 days out of the week, we're trying to slip in doing the t-shirt business. So like I said, right now we're just kind of overpacked on work. It happens every year, and it'll slow down probably the end of April, 1st of May, somewhere in that neighborhood. So I hate that we're behind on everything, but the reality of it is business has to come first before racing. If we had thousands of dollars in sponsorship money, and it was more than just a hobby every weekend, at this point we would consider more thrashing toward her racing career, because that's important to us. That's very important to her. So like I said, right now, just simply because of business and finance and stuff, we have to take care of business first. We have to take care of the racing side second, and like I said, that limits us quite a bit on time. But needless to say, we're going to continue the videos. We're going to continue pushing forward with her. We're going to continue trying to get people to help us. Right now, we're a 3-man team. We got me, my wife, and Shelby, and we got a couple friends of ours that comes in sporadically and helps. Love them to death. Great help. Cannot say how much we appreciate John, Michael, and and Chad for coming and helping us on this stuff, whether it be for race car stuff or the powder coating oven or whatever they're doing. It's all a push toward the goal. So, but like I said, we're trying to find other people who can spare some time and help us with this stuff. They're welcomed, but we're going to keep pushing towards it. We're going to try to keep on getting her closer to the track. And you know, we knew from the get-go we was going to probably miss a few races. We knew we was. Some things has just changed. The car that we bought ended up needing a lot more than what we originally anticipated. I was hoping we can take it apart, clean it up, paint it, put it back together, and man, I'd give anything. Once again, like I said, a lot of the times when we leave to come to work, when we leave our house, we just don't think about bringing the GoPro or any means. I mean, we have a cell phone, yes, but we like to film with the GoPro because we could set it up. And you know, a cell phone, I just don't have, at the moment I just don't have the stuff to set it up and be able to just, it's just not convenient for me at the moment. The more we go, the more I'll learn. Maybe we can buy something to do that with. Like I said, we're all new to this, so bear with me on this. But the main thing I'm getting at right now is at nighttime when we get through working, we've came out and we've worked on some things inside the shop. We can't work on the oven at night because it's dark outside, and don't want the neighbors hearing us grinding and drilling and all that stuff. So like I said, we work inside the shop here, and we have done quite a bit of stuff on the side that I just did not get footage of. But I'll tell you, it's like, for instance, the fuel cell, and I'll show you the fuel cell right here. The fuel cell, this thing was a disaster. The little plastic nylons was leaking. If you turned it upside down, the vent was leaking there. So we bought the little nylon kits. These little fittings, little AN fittings that's on these, I don't even know what kind of setup they had on these. Maybe it was something that INX has. I don't have no clue. But they just did not look safe to me. So I ordered all these new AN fittings. The lid on this thing, when I tightened that lid, this is basically a junior dragster fuel cell. That's what this is meant for. Jazz built this fuel cell for junior dragsters. We took this fuel cell with the lid out of the car. I turned it, I put a cap on. It was a different fitting right here. That was a different fitting that was on here. But I put a cap on this AN fitting right here. Turned this thing upside down. Fuel was pouring out of this lid. It was pouring out of these little plastic things. It was a disaster. I took the fuel cell apart, and boy, if I would give anything if I just would have stopped on the dot, pulled the GoPro out, and just show people. No one would believe what was in the bottom. In the bottom of this fuel cell, there was probably a ½ inch of sludge sitting in the bottom of the fuel cell, and it looked like oil dry. It looked like oil dry off the track. How it got in there, I'll never know. The fuel cell foam inside of here, again, I'd give anything if I would have just kept it and recorded, but we threw it straight in the trash. I mean, that was just nature. I couldn't believe what I seen. But it was full of what looked like oil dry. It looked like somebody took a cup of oil dry, poured it in the top of this fuel cell. It was ridiculous. So anyway, like I said, we bought the new lid. We put the new AN fit in here. We put the new nylons in, and let's see if I can I love this little screw-on deal a whole lot better than the other thing. But see, I put brand new foam in there. So like I said, other than just the plastic, now I've got $130, $140 tied up in this fuel cell. If I would have bought that fuel cell brand new from really anywhere, because like I said, all it is a Jazz Junior Dragster fuel cell. If I would have bought it brand new, it'd cost it I think it was like $380 plus shipping. I've got 130, 140 bucks tied up in everything, using the old plastic, which I don't see a problem with that. I think it'll be just fine using that. Like I said, it's not bad, but and then as you can see, I got some steel braided fuel line. We're putting steel braided through this whole car, and I got some other parts in here. We got some other stuff here. We had to buy one of them little louvers. When we bought this car, this louver that goes on the back was supposed to, that black thing was supposed to come with the car. The guy I got it from is a buddy of mine, and he told me, he says, I got that louver in storage somewhere. He says, I gotta go get it. Wasn't really pushing for it, but a couple weeks ago I cut a deal with a buddy of mine to paint the body. So I called the guy and I told him, I said, look, I got to have this louver so we can finish this body up so we can get it over to the paint shop. And he went to the storage, said he couldn't find it. So that put me in a little bit of a backswing, because I had to start trying to see if I could find one of those louvers. Come to find out, everywhere I called, nobody knew anything about stocking them things, and everybody told me I was going to find somebody that's got a busted tail section and cut it out of the back. So I went to work doing that. I started calling everybody, putting posts on Facebook Marketplace and Facebook and all the sites and stuff. And I had a gentleman, his name's Malcolm. I can't remember his last name off the top of my head, but his name was Malcolm. He messaged me and he said, I got one of those. And he said, I'll ship it out to you tomorrow. We got it 3 days later. So thanks to Malcolm, I know the chances of him seeing this video, and it's probably slim to none. Maybe I can share the video to Facebook and tag him in it, but a big thanks to him, because like I said, that was holding us up. Everybody that I called that races these things local, everybody said they didn't have one. Now, the craziest thing is today they are having the Spring Nationals in Nashville for the Bandoleros. Boy, they started this stuff on Tuesday, and today is the last day for it. And I bet there's 10 cars that race down there, and they've all tore the rear ends out of their cars. I mean, they have wrecked, and there's been cars. I bet I could have went to Nashville down there and just hung around for a couple hours. I probably could have got one. Like I said, people's been wrecking them things. The guy that I got the car from, his daughter, she slipped up, backed in the wall yesterday, tore the whole back end off the car. So like I said, they're out there now for sure. But at the time that I was looking, like I said, couldn't find one. Nobody had one. And Malcolm stepped up, shipped it to me, and a big thanks to him. Some other things that I've been doing on the side, like I said, it's just a couple hours here and a couple hours there. I'd give anything if I could just. We're going to have to buy us a couple more of these GoPros. We already know this, because it's, like I said, it's just one of those things we're just not used to reaching and grabbing when we walk out of the house every morning. And I really like dealing with the GoPros. They're easier to deal with. I can put them on a stand. I can put it on this little pole here, this little, what's the thing, a selfie stick, and walk around like I am right now. Like I said, it's a lot easier for me to deal with. But anyway, we've been polishing some guards, chain guards and stuff, and just to show you this This is what they look like. We sandblasted them. They was rough. These things was rough. We sandblasted them out, and we've been polishing on them. Like I say, they're going from this to this, and I'm very proud of them, man. This stuff right here, see if you guys can get it up close. But I tell you what, you take a little bit of 600 grit sandpaper and you hit that with that 600 grit, and then you take some of this, they call it a aluminum oxidizer. Let's see if you can see that right there. But they take that, you wipe it on the aluminum, take a little bit of this stuff, put it on what I've been doing is I've been cutting the rags up in little sections like this. And you take that rag and you put it on there, and you rub that until that stuff turns black, and you get done. You take a clean rag and you wipe that stuff off. And like I said, this polishes this stuff up. It's almost a mirror finish. It's almost a mirror finish. So we've been working on that. These are some of the things that we've powder coated. You see I think that's the one for the brake, and then the one for the gears in this little plastic pouch right here. Now, like I said, we did all this powder coating here in our shop, and like I said, these things, they're turning out looking brand new. We got some little axle clamps right there that we powder coated. This is for the brake pedal and gas pedal. Wait, this is for the brake stop, or the throttle stop. These are for the brake and gas pedals. Maybe I was right. Maybe these was. Yeah, I'm sorry. These are all for gas, throttle, and brake, and then this was the throttle stop. So we still got to powder coat that. That was an old A-frame. It looked good. Nothing wrong with it. Powder coated it. Matter of fact, it's got a little dust on it right there right now, where it's been sitting there. But some other parts over here. Another piece of that fuel cell foam there. There's a mirrors that gave me so much trouble in the other video that we filmed trying to get off. I've never seen mirrors so tight, but that's another story. You done seen that video. And of course, I don't know that we've actually filmed anything about it yet, but we've got the seat mounted in. We've got you see them brackets down there we welded in for them. The seat bolts to that. There's a couple more bolts in the center, and then right back here we got a little seat mount right there on the back. And boy, this thing's in here tight. You can see we had to kind of grind around the cage right there to get it in. And boy, she's very little room at the top. And then, like I said, she's a tight fit. But I believe that seat is going to be the key to safety for her. I've always believed the only thing you got in that race car is that seat and that steering wheel and them safety belts. And we did buy a new set of Simpson safety harness for it. Well, I dropped them. Let me get up here. Let's see here. I'll turn this around. But yeah, I bounced you around there, didn't I? But brand new set of safety harness. She has I really shouldn't say nothing, but I want to put it in this video because she don't know nothing about it. And the little rascal sitting right here playing with her hair right now. But we have a Simpson hybrid. I've never dealt with one of them before. Seemed like a lot of the NASCAR guys are running them. I'm old school. To me personally, I don't have a problem with putting her in this car in a good safe seat, good safety harness, knowing that I have confidence in my fabrication skills and stuff to make sure she's safe in that car. Little quarter-mile tracks. I'm not real worried about her getting hurt on a quarter-mile track. Now, I know that might sound crazy to some people, but look, I've been racing since I was 13 years old. I've watched go-kart racing happen here at the fairgrounds. I've watched four-cylinder cars, front-wheel drive cars. I've watched these kids and these people race since I was 13 years old on these tracks. These little quarter-mile tracks, I've never seen anybody with a major injury. I've seen people go to hospital with a concussion or something. I've seen that. Yeah, something like that hybrid might help that. But the reality of it is, I'm a big believer that I don't think she has to have that, and I don't think she'd get hurt any less by having that. And I'm also a big believer in the good Lord. If it's going to happen, it happens for a reason. I try to do everything I can safety-wise to stop it, but at the end of the day, we're in His hands, and I've got faith in Him to keep her safe. That's just all the way around. My faith lies in the Lord to keep her safe, and that's one of the things that really allows me to be comfortable with putting her in a race car. But like I said, she's got a new Simpson hybrid that is supposed to be here today, so hopefully that'll show up here pretty soon, and we'll see how she fits in that thing. And like I said, we're moving along. Our biggest thing right now that's holding us up is the powder coating. Once that's done, we can sling this thing together and get the motor back in it and everything, get it fired back up, clean up some of the wiring. The wiring is going to be another issue that I got to tackle with, because the wiring in this car, I don't know if all these Bandoleros is like that, but the wiring is not even in no kind of a harness. It's just all wire tied together. I'm putting it in a harness. I just feel like it's too many things that can happen. Something can fly up, something can cut it, short out the battery. Next thing you know, you got a battery explosion. I don't know. Anything can happen. But we're gonna clean up some wiring and put it in a harness, and when we put it back together, and like I said, we'll be able to move along with it. But we're gonna move along with this powder coating oven. Next time that I do a video on it, we'll probably have at least the inside done, possibly some insulation on the outside, then I'll film that before we start putting the metal on the outside of it. And then of course after that, we'll film the video for doing the front door on it, and then from there we'll move along to doing a test session with it, see if it'll get up to 500 degrees for me inside. But I believe it will, and I think we're moving in the right direction toward everything. It's just, like I said, time and help is a key issue right now. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll carry on. Y'all have a good day.